Okay, so today we're diving into something truly inspiring. We're talking about Denzel Washington and his words on unlocking potential.
Always a good topic.
Right. You sent over some incredible excerpts from one of his speeches, and wow, his words are pure motivational gold.
He's definitely got away with words.
Yeah, and one thing that really stuck with me was this whole idea of falling forward. Expert speaker, are you ready to unpack this with me?
Absolutely. Denzel has this incredible way of blending personal anecdotes with these universal truths. It's really something. So falling forward, where do you think that comes from?
Well, he starts by talking about how people always say to have a backup plan, right? Something to fall back on.
Right.
But Denzel, he flips the script completely. He says, if I'm going to fall out, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. It's like he's saying, don't play it safe,
Yeah.
Embrace the risk.
It's fascinating how he reframes failure. He doesn't fear it. He almost welcomes it. And this is where I think the concept of a growth mindset comes in. The idea that our abilities aren't fixed. We can learn, we can grow, we can develop new skills through dedication and hard work. Denzel is basically saying setbacks are inevitable on the path to success, but they don't define us.
So it's not about having a good attitude about failing. It's about seeing those failures as opportunities, opportunities to learn and grow.
Exactly.
He uses the example of baseball legend Reggie Jackson. He struck out over 2,600 times in his career, the most in baseball history. But we don't remember the strikeouts, do we?
Nope. We remember the home runs. And that's a perfect illustration of what Denzel is getting at. Each strikeout, each perceived failure becomes an opportunity to learn, to adjust, to improve. It's about building resilience and understanding that setbacks are just stepping stones.
So the takeaway is don't be afraid to strike out sometimes. In
Yeah.
fact, those strikeouts, they can be your greatest teachers. That is, if you're willing to learn from them. It reminds me of Thomas Edison
Oh, yeah.
and his 1,000 failed experiments before finally creating the light bulb. Can you imagine if he had given up after 999 tries? Talk about persistence.
And it's that persistence, that unwavering belief in the possibility of success, that truly sets apart those who achieve great things from those who don't. I mean, Edison didn't just keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. He used each failure as data, refining his approach, learning from his mistakes, and ultimately coming closer to his goal with each attempt.
It's like you're constantly fine-tuning, making adjustments along the way, getting closer and closer.
Exactly. And that's where self-awareness becomes so crucial. You have to understand your strengths, but also your weaknesses. And Denzel illustrates this beautifully with a story about a Broadway audition.
You mean the one where he couldn't sing?
Precisely. He knew he wasn't a singer, but he went for it anyway. He took a chance, stepped outside of his comfort zone, knowing there was a high probability of, well, failure. And while he didn't land that particular role, the experience itself held value.
Yeah, years later, he ends up performing on that very same stage as a Tony Award-winning actor. Talk about a plot twist.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that early experience, that willingness to fall forward, really played a part in his journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's a powerful lesson for all of us. Sometimes taking a leap of faith, even if it leads to a stumble, can be incredibly valuable in the long run. It's about embracing the unknown and recognizing that growth often happens outside of our comfort zones.
So we're not just talking about dealing with failure, but actively seeking out challenges, pushing ourselves beyond our perceived limits. But that can be terrifying for people. How do we push past that fear of failure, that feeling of what if it doesn't work out?
I think it goes back to reframing failure. Instead of focusing on the negative what if you viewed it as data, each time you try something and it doesn't work out, you're gathering valuable information. Think of it like this. Every experience, every failure is an opportunity to refine your approach, to learn, and ultimately to grow. It's like Denzel says, every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You're constantly iterating, evolving, getting closer to your goals.
I love that perspective. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about embracing the learning process. But Denzel doesn't stop there. He goes on to talk about these ghosts that represent missed opportunities. And that image, I don't know about you, but I found it both haunting and motivating at the same time.
It's a powerful metaphor, right? These ghosts, they embody the dreams we abandon, the talents we let fade, the potential we leave unfulfilled. It's a call to action to all of us. Like, take stock of your life. What am I ignoring? What regrets might I have if I don't seize the day?
And it's not just about career aspirations either, right? This applies to every facet of life.
Oh, absolutely. It could be that language you've always wanted to learn but never got around to, that creative project you've been putting off, or even just reconnecting with someone you care about. You know, these ghosts, they represent those nagging what-ifs that can really haunt us if we let them.
Makes you really evaluate what truly matters. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Exactly. And this ties into, I think, the importance of values, clarification, and goal setting. What truly matters to you? What kind of impact you want to have on the world? And once you have a clear understanding of your values, then you can start setting goals that align with those values. And then you can start taking concrete steps to actually achieve them. Otherwise, those ghosts of missed opportunities, well, they might start multiplying.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that we have the power to shape our own destinies. We're not just along for the ride, we are the drivers of our own lives.
We are. And speaking of navigating life's journey, Denzel's own story is a perfect example of how it's okay to take detours. Remember, he started as a pre-med student, then switched to pre-law, then journalism. He even took time off from school because his grades were suffering. It wasn't exactly a straight shot to Hollywood stardom.
Yeah, I love how open he is about that period of his life. He wasn't always Denzel Washington, the icon. He was just a young guy trying to figure things out like the rest of us.
Exactly. And it highlights the fact that it's totally normal to not have all the answers right away. Life, well, it rarely unfolds in a perfectly linear fashion. And sometimes those detours, those unexpected twists and turns, they lead us to where we're truly meant to be.
So instead of fearing the unknown, we should embrace it. Be open to exploring different paths and possibilities.
Precisely. And that brings us to what I find to be a particularly intriguing part of Denzel's message, the story of the woman in the beauty parlor.
Oh, you mean the one who gave him the prophecy? I have to admit that story stuck with me. This woman he barely knows predicts his entire future. It's a little eerie, to be honest.
It does have a mystical quality to it, doesn't it? But even if we don't necessarily believe in, prophecies, the story underscores something incredibly powerful. The power of belief.
You mean the power of someone else believing in us?
That's part of it for sure. This woman, she saw something in Denzel, a spark, a potential that he may not have even fully recognized in himself at the time. And her words, her belief in him, it had a profound impact on his journey.
It's like she planted a seed of belief and it blossomed into his success.
Right. And that's the incredible thing about belief. It can become like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Our beliefs about ourselves, about our future, it can actually influence our actions and shape our reality. Like if you believe you can achieve something, you're more likely to put in the effort to overcome obstacles and ultimately make it happen.
So even if we don't have a personal psychic, making predictions about our future, surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us, who see our potential, that can make a real difference.
Absolutely. It's about having that support system, people who offer encouragement, guidance, and let's be honest, sometimes we need that tough love. It's like having a team of cheerleaders who also happen to be brutally honest coaches.
And sometimes we need that. We need that to keep us moving forward. But I also think there's something to be said for that inner voice, that self-belief that tells us we are capable of great things.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you need to believe in yourself and your abilities to reach your full potential. It won't always be easy and there will be moments of doubt, but cultivating that inner strength, that unwavering belief in yourself, that's crucial for weathering the storms and coming out stronger on the other side.
This deep dive has been, I've got to say, truly eye-opening. Denzel's words, they're more than just like motivational quotes. They're powerful reminders to embrace risk, to learn from those setbacks, and to really pursue our passions with every fiber of our being.
Totally. And maybe the most crucial takeaway here is that the journey is just as important as the destination. It's about who we become along the way. It's about the lessons that we learn, the impact we have on the world around us.
So if you take away just one thing from this deep dive, let it be this. The path to success, it's paved with failures, detours, and yeah, maybe even a few ghosts of missed opportunities. That's okay. Embrace the unknown. Fall forward. And never let anything extinguish that fire in your belly. Now the question is, what dream will you chase with everything you've got?